Hello there. Hello. Hi. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Meglo. I hope you're all doing well. Oh no. Hang on. Technical difficulties. I didn't do that. There we go. Problem solved. I hope you're all doing well. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. It's Tuesday, so that means D&D. And we're here to play The Grip of the Fungal Queen, episode 6, session 6. Big news. Everyone leveled up last week and I forgot to tell you all, so I'm telling you now. It's very exciting for them. They're all level 4. So we've just sorted that out. That's why we were 5 minutes late. And now we get to play. So let's press the undeafen button and see what they're talking about. You're not talking.
Yeah, we had a quiet moment.
Oh my god. That's quite upsetting. I like joining just as the conversation's like mid-flow, but never mind. How is everyone doing?
Good.
All good, mate.
Nice. Positivity, I like it. How are we feeling about the session as a whole?
I'm excited, as usual.
As usual.
Bad start for the hit die, the level up die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Tulip only earned 5 hit points on this level up. Rolled a 2. It's sad, man. It's sad. He'll be fine.
2+0 though. It was 2. At least it was 2
It could have been
3.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been 2+0. That would have been awful, wouldn't it? Would never have. I don't know how I'd take that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to die.
No, you'll be fine. You're on a scorching total of hit points. I'm here for it. Anyway, let's get rid of the somewhat positive sounding music. We'll have Chloe just do a quick recap for us all, in case you missed it last week, and then we'll get going. I think.
Right, what was it you said? 13 words.
13, yes.
Okie dokie. Bad cave. Bad light.
Okay, 1 4.
Nismo gone.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm looking through my notes. I've written down a lot that is actually rather irrelevant.
But you wouldn't know it's only irrelevant until you find that out. So.
Yeah.
Well, you're told to sum it up in 13 words.
Lesser demon. How did you pronounce the name again?
Zagutmoy.
That's the one.
Okay, so that's 8.
I've got 3 more.
That's not how maths works.
No, that's 11.
There we go. You've got 5 more.
Malakir can get fucked. And I've got 1 to spare.
2 more.
What? You said it was on 8?
Oh, can. I missed out can.
See, I'm not the only one that can't count.
Wow. All right. Okay. Okay.
What
okay.
a train wreck of the start.
I know. We did so well. Anyway. You find yourselves now having sort of decided to jump through the portal that Nismo got enticed through and Malakir jumped through after you got him very low on health. You appear to have been transported somewhere. Ahead of you, you can see a sort of amalgamation of fungal mushrooms that appear to be grown in a sort of treehouse-like fashion, similar to something you saw or heard about and have read about previously, similar to Zagutmoy's lair in the abyss. I believe you haven't moved much further forward. You've only sort of moved a little bit to here. Behind you, you can see the sort of soft, spongy ground beneath you that goes further, like heads as further away it gets, the more ethereal it becomes and sort of stops being, if that makes sense. And ahead of you, having taken sort of 10 feet forward, 10 feet steps forward, the structure, but the fungal structure ahead of you appears to have grown quite significantly. And there's a blood trail or something similar heading towards it. That's what this red line is.
I think Tulip's going to wait for the others to make a decision, but just look around for anything that might be watching us.
Okay, make a perception check for me. Nine. Okay. Could be worse. Could be 2. Looking around, the grove you're in, directly behind you is clear. You can see that. And then there appears to be a sort of another small clearing to your left. And somewhat beyond the structure in the middle at the far side. But around you are just incredibly tall trees that, also, like, while being really tall, like hundreds of feet tall, also seem to really encroach and kind of give you a semi-claustrophobic feeling. And all of the bioluminescent animals and birds that are fluttering around seem to be both really close and also really far away. So you kind of have it's kind of difficult to gauge what's around you because everything is both distant and close.
Is there any sign of Zemo anywhere?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
The trail you can see before you could either be from Nismo, who was relatively unhurt, and this looks like the trail of a wounded person, or it could be Malakir. It's difficult to tell.
I expect it'd probably be Malik here though, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna follow the blood?
I think that's probably best.
Our lead. You ready? We're gonna jump. It's easier to move.
Oh yeah, because the ground's bouncy as well. It's got a
Yeah.
weird sort of bounce to it. No difference in gravity, but it's just really springy.
Yeah, I'll take a jump first then.
Okay. You kind of man on the moon leap around, and it seems to be getting you quite well, getting you to where you need to be quite well. The closer, again, sort of for every 5 feet you take towards this central structure, it seems to grow exponentially. Whereas it started off quite compact and small, you could say. It seems to be growing more and more and more into the size of maybe a house, and then a sort of a courtyard, and then a small village, and then a small town. And by the time you reach, by the time you kind of get to this point, it looks the size of a large city, in width and also in height. The structures, the fungal structures, are towering over you, potentially up to 600 or 700 feet. They're at this point now they are towering over the trees that have been towering over you, and are very intimidating. Ahead of you,
Well, that's not something you see every day.
the ring ahead of you, sort of matching the ring from where you stepped in. This one has a different sort of feel to it. The first one just kind of gave you a weird perception of the surroundings behind you. This one is giving off more of a feeling. How are you all standing? Like, sort of put yourselves where you're standing. Are you like this, or are you kind of side by side? How are you doing it?
I would be probably ahead if less the rest of the group chooses to stand by me next to the ring.
Alura would want to have a look at it.
Yeah, I'm dawdling behind a tiny bit.
Okay. In that case, Alura and Grant make a wisdom saving throw, and Alura make an intelligence saving throw for me.
Okay.
Perfect.
Nice. Great.
Hmm.
You both feel different things. Grant, as you get closer, you can feel the start of an incredibly heavily an incredible migraine that just seems to be hitting you immediately. Like, the pain behind your eyes is incredible. It's dragging you down, and then it's just agonizing. Like, there's pulsing. Your eyes just hurt to look around. You're struggling to keep them open. You now have disadvantage on all perception checks.
Nice.
Alura, as you get closer, you are overwhelmed by questions, sort of unbidden, where you're kind of intensely overwhelmed by questions such as, like, where are we? What is this ring? What is this ground? What is that structure in front of me? What's happened to Nismo? Where's Malakir? That kind of thing, just constantly rotating in your head. And it becomes so overwhelming that you are what did you roll? A 9. You have disadvantage on investigation checks. Anything that requires thought. So probably history as well.
Okay.
Some, like, anything that you would require to, like, use your brain. Your brain is so preoccupied by questions and thoughts that you're struggling to process anything at the moment.
Okay.
Tulip.
Yep.
You're fine.
I'll probably catch up to them though if they're standing still though.
Potentially, eventually, yeah.
Because I'm dumb.
You were going to do it because you're dumb. Okay.
No, because I'm dumb. It's not affecting me because I'm dumb.
Oh, right. I see. No, you're currently fine. All right.
Okay.
Well, unless anyone moved, I would just be like standing, trying to focus and just being like, "Oh my god, this hits me so hard." Like, trying to figure out what's going on. So I'd be stood still for a couple minutes.
Okay. Um, the more you stand there, you start getting really woozy and nauseous, and you start to feel like actually sick. Almost like the migraine is starting to mess with your equilibrium. Your usual fairly solid stance is being properly knocked around by whatever this is. And after about 2 minutes of standing there, you you start hearing noises around you. Not just the noises of your friends, but noises of somebody laughing off in the distance. You can't quite make out the voice, who the voice might be, or what the voice might be, or what they're saying, even. It's a laughter and some kind of incoherent babble. But to your other side, you can just hear shouting. Again, incoherent, you can't make it out, but it's just constant, the laughing and the shouting. And behind you, there's just a scream, like an ear-piercing scream that goes for about 3 or 4 seconds and then stops. And then you just hear a deep inhale of breath and the scream starts and continues. All around you, there's just noise, incoherent, you can't make out the details, and it just starts to make your head spin even more.
Okay.
You lose half of your movement. Because
Right.
you are struggling to stand, you're having to keep yourself steady. Alura, do you stand there with him, or are you moving along, or moving around?
Would I have noticed that this only started to happen as we approached the circle?
Yeah, it was very sudden.
Then yeah, I probably would have taken a step back.
Okay.
I'll put myself there.
As you take your step back, the questioning just stops. Suddenly, your thoughts are clearer. You're able to regroup your brain and be a bit more thoughtful about your cognitive functions. So basically, taking that one step back, your brain just quietens right down, and all of the effects you picked up end.
So being 5 foot back, I don't have disadvantage anymore. Okay.
So what's going on with you guys then?
The circle's not good. And then she's gonna like reach forward and try and like pull Grant back a bit as well.
Okay. Do you resist?
No, there's no resistance.
Okay. You just reach and pull Grant back, and Grant suddenly, like stepping off a ship or a boat onto solid ground, you're just hit by how balanced you suddenly are. Your brain takes about 2 seconds to readjust itself, and in those 2 seconds, you get confused and you just keep trying to overcorrect yourself, like you're kind of micro movements to correct balance that isn't, or lack of balance that isn't really there anymore. And then your head just clears and the effects that you picked up end.
Oh, thank you for that, Alura. You stopped a major headache I was having.
It's the same with me. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No. I don't know what kind of magic this is.
Okay. So, if anybody is proficient in Arcana, History, or Nature, roll that roll for me.
I'm proficient in history.
All right. History check then, please.
I'm also going to guidance this.
Mm-hmm. The pop-up appears. You choose whomst to get the guidance from. You click the dice. It rolls. Natural 1. Critical fail. But it's okay because you have inspiration. You use it. Natural 2. You still fail.
That's the worst.
Honestly, I burnt through like 4 inspiration on 1 check and I still didn't get a pass. I was
It's
so
okay.
pissed.
I wasted 8 inspirations at one point. It's
Oh,
It's even worse when it's on a locked chest and it's nothing important.
yeah,
yeah.
been there. With a 19 history, you have heard. Did you have any proficiencies, Tulip?
No, not those ones.
Not those ones. Okay. I was like, I've given 3. Surely there's like one of them that everybody has. No. Okay. With a 19 history, you remember reading a book written by some adventurer. You don't remember the name, but they're sort of semi-famous. They've written a couple of books. Some of it is fairly discredited.
Oh no.
But one that you've been able to corroborate through cross-referencing and reading accounts of other people is effects of Fae.
Ooh.
And how Fae creatures in particular are very proficient and very well known for just messing with people and using their innate magic to not necessarily harm, but to
Fuck with.
basically, yeah, but in a kind of literally. I don't think there's a more eloquent way I can put it. But so you're kind of getting that vibe. However,
Okay.
a cross between a demon and a fae is usually a bad thing usually, or is very, very unheard of. So if this is something along those lines, then there's something afoot. But this doesn't seem to be the Feywild. Again, reading from what you've read about it, having never been there yourself, it's difficult to back it up with experience. But from everything you've read of the Feywild, portals and getting there are not anywhere near as easy as this. But also, the timing, like time can be messed with. You can go, 2 people can go through a portal at the same time and come out in completely different times. And the same with returning. Who knows? This might be it. But you're also dealing, like I said, with a demon and a demon queen. So, could this be somewhere in the abyss? Your learning, your past learning only can get you so far when you have no experience of either of the environments.
Yeah. Can I remember, or do I know of any kind of magic or spells that might be able to mimic like these kind of effects of the Fae?
There are such things. Most of them come from either pacts with Fae or
Mhm.
curses from Fae,
Mhm.
or just Fae creatures creating their own sort of pocket.
Their own magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So this could be something created by a Fae
Mhm.
to give them a feeling of slice of home, you know?
Okay. I'm gonna kind of explain that to Tulip and Grant. I'm gonna explain that, it's more like Fey magic, not anything demonic. And that it's very strange that this is where we've kind of turned up rather than something that we'd expect, like the Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alura doesn't think this is the Abyss, because it's very pretty.
You would, as a cleric, you feel like you would probably feel the abyss.
Yeah.
The abyss. Like you would.
Not quite as twinkly, or
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. How do you proceed now? That's the question.
Should we
Do
go around
God.
and check first? See if there's anything else to go to before we try to go into there again.
If you want, Tulip, I don't think there's much point. This looks like a ring, so you'll probably just end back up here.
Isn't there another one on the left over here?
There's a slight clearing of the really tall trees. However,
Right.
from where you're stood, you can see that it's got another ring similar to, or another line similar to the one you crossed to get here, and the same sort of disapparating effect that you saw behind you.
Oh. So, if we came out of this one, where do you think that one goes? Because that might do the same kind of thing, but somewhere else.
I have no idea.
should we just push through and try?
Well, I wasn't. There's no effects still on me, it seems. So whatever was doing my head in, it's not permanent. So I'm willing to try and push through.
What if you jump? Maybe if you jump, it'd be alright.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Tulip. Give it a little couple steps back and a little like bounce front up to jump over it.
Before you jump, Alura is going to use her rope and tie it around you, like around your waist, so that if something does happen and you can't come back yourself, then probably Tulip can drag you back through.
Yeah, that's smart. You learned from watching me with my trident.
I did. I was inspired.
Well, here I go. I take a couple steps and kind of like, because obviously can't run, bounce my way up to speed and then bounce over if I
Right.
can.
You experience a definite wave of sickness as you cross the threshold of the luminescent circle, and Alura and Tulip, you see Grant jump over the line and then land on the other side.
Well, that's a good thing. How do you feel, Grant?
Yeah.
There's
For a second, there was a weird feeling, but I don't know.
that's what Grant thinks he
Can I
tells you,
yeah.
but you just
For a
hear
second, yeah.
you both just hear. It's like you hear Allura's muffled voice, and then Alura and Petal? No, Tulip. Tulip, you hear a muffled reply.
Okay.
Mm,
I'm going to put my arm in the air and I'm just going to put like a thumbs up and then change it to a thumbs down and like alternate between the two.
why have
Okay.
he's lost his tongue?
Grant,
Yeah.
behind you, you can only see a sort of like frosted glass effect, essentially, and only a hint of anything beyond. You can just about make out the silhouette of your two friends.
Ah.
Alura and
So
Tulip,
I can't really see Alura putting a thumb up, can I?
you can't see that, no. Alura and Tulip, you can just see Grant essentially stood still facing forwards. Basically how he landed, facing away.
Okay.
It's almost like he stood up straight and just froze.
Should I pull it, or should we just go?
I think we should pull it and see what he says.
Okay, I'll try to pull him back through.
Okay.
I'll help if needed.
All right. Both of you make. Actually, no.
I mean, I wouldn't be expecting me to be pulled back through so quickly. So.
Tulip, because you're stronger, make a strength check with advantage for me.
And I'll guidance you as well. So an extra d4.
Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get flung back through the other portal as well.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, God.
Nice. Grant does not come back, but he gets cut in half.
Tulip, as you and Alura prepare, and Alura kind of gives you a reassuring glance with her hand, and you feel the warmth of guidance flow through you. You sort of prep yourself, you get your feet planted on the ground as much as possible, and you give the strongest tug on the rope you possibly can. And there's a moment of resistance, and then the rope comes flying backwards, and Grant, you feel a tug, an ever so slight tug on the rope around your waist, and then there's like constant pressure for about a second, and then the rope almost turns ethereal, flows straight through you and disappears. Alura and Tulip, as the rope comes free, you see Grant, who has been stood there planted for 30 seconds, however long, suddenly just come flying backwards and then just land motionless, almost like a feather stuffed dummy of Grant, just lying there with a big smile on his face, hands sort of arms splayed out to the sides, just lying on his back on the floor staring upwards. Both of you make perception checks for me.
I'm guidancing this as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Fuck that. I am re-rolling my perception, so I'm going to use a lucky.
Okay. Nice.
And I re-roll that.
Halfling luck.
Fucking hell. Right.
That's better.
That'll do. That'll do.
Okay,
I'm not changing my guidance either. I'm not re-rolling that.
that's fine. So 21. 21 and 11. Alura, you notice first, like very quickly. And Tulip, it takes you a second. The shock of what's happened sort of takes a few moments to process in your brain. But this has a very distinct look and feel of Grant, your friend, your companion, your party mate, but it's also definitely looking like an incredibly, almost uncanny valley scarecrow type thing. He's ever so slightly too round and almost like he's been slightly inflated with air. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got his
like
arms
bloated.
his arms are just a bit too inflated, and then his elbows and his joints are really thin. So he kind of looks a bit like the Michelin Man. But it's so realistic that it takes you a moment to actually pinpoint what's wrong with the visage.
And we don't see Grant on the other side of the ring.
Not anymore.
Okay. Can I check to see if he's still alive?
You can try and do. You can medicine the scarecrow. Make a medicine check for me.
With guidance. You know what? I've just realised as well. I could just put my D4 on this.
Yeah. You noticed that.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
About 6 months earlier than a lot of the rest of the guys who were playing Scales. I'm
going to re-roll that because I got a 1.
No, it re-rolled it for you.
What? Oh, you.
It automatically re-rolled the 1. So it's 1d20 plus, like 1d20 re-roll 1s.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got an 8 plus 3, which is 11 plus 5. This visage of Grant is definitely not alive, but you're also led to question whether this was ever alive.
And does it look like it's going to come to life?
It's difficult to say.
Okay. Tulip, I don't think this is Grant, and I'm worried it's going to try and kill us.
As you kind of touch the visage to check for vital signs and just check for any signs of life, it feels wrong. Like, it doesn't feel fleshy, it feels padded,
Okay.
Like, it just feels soft. It doesn't feel like there's muscle, bone, or anything. You could like squeeze the arm and you could grip so tight that you're basically making a fist. It's almost like there's just cotton wool inside.
So, what do you think? This must be. Did I do this?
No. This is some kind of fey magic, I'm sure. You didn't do this by using a rope.
Did we like pull something out of Grant? Like, is this? What if we throw this back through? Do you reckon then Grant will just appear again? Or do we just smash this?
I think we need to get to the other side of the ring and see if the real Grant is still there. And we can take this thing with us.
Yeah. Okay. A bit worried though.
Me too.
Okay. So I guess I'll pick up the Grant scarecrow and head through.
Okay.
I'm just going to walk through normally because it seems like what happened to Grant that time was probably worse than the first time. So maybe walking's better.
The visage of Grant, as you pick it up, is probably only, I don't know, 10 kilos at most. It's like you it's that thing where you think you need to put more effort in than you do, so you go to pick it up and you go, "Ugh!" and you sort of fling yourself backwards a fair way just because there's no weight to it. As you step over the threshold, you feel yourself get a lot weaker. Like fatigued almost. Your muscles just suddenly almost give up, and it's difficult to continue walking just to take those 2 steps over the line. But then as you cross the line and you recover, and you can, again, behind you, you can just see what looks to be frosted glass. Alura, you see Tulip holding the visage of Grant step over, sort of sag a little bit, and then as he crosses the line, he straightens up to perfect posture, still holding Grant, and freezes.
Okay. Alora's just gonna jump through to the other side because whatever is going on, she needs to be there.
Okay. As you cross the border, the barrier, 1,000 voices enter your head all at once, just throwing questions. Not even questions you would think of. They're just completely inane questions. Everyday questions like, what do you want for dinner? Or where are we getting the money from? How are we paying for this? Like, commoner questions. Questions that you may have even heard day to day back home. But as you step over and make it in, those questions stop. Behind you, you can see the frosted glass effect and a hint of whatever it is beyond. Now,
do we see Grant, and do I see Tulip?
the 3 of you find yourselves in an entirely different world. All of a sudden. Separated. Alone. Oppressed. The air, much like you've been experiencing recently, is thick with mold and dust and damp. The smell is acrid and overpowering. You are cold. Like, very cold. Grant, the first one to pass through, you are just inside a small clearing with a little walkway that seems to head up to a door. Almost as soon as you step through and felt that tug at your waist and the ethereal rope had pulled through you, you hear a sound, and then Tulip. As you step through and are greeted with this horrible environment, you see a tree that appears to have been cut down at some point in the past, but from the size of the stump, the tree must have been unimaginably huge. It has been taken down to maybe about 50 feet tall, for the stump, and it's also seems to have risen from the ground as the roots have grown. There seems to be an amalgamation of stone and dirt that seems to be pushing it further into the sky, almost like reaching further and further for the sun is its only goal in life. And about 3 seconds after you manage to process all of this sound, both of you hear another sound. And Alura, you step through, and you can see mounds of, again, dirt and stone that seem to have been sort of semi-piled on each other, but also just allowed to grow naturally, with tree roots and fungus and various rotten shrubbery that have just grown and grown and grown, completely out of control, to the point where it's difficult to distinguish one from the other. You can just about see over all of this, that maybe hits about 15 feet, give or take. You can see the 50-foot tall tree stump. And there appears to be footsteps heading off in this direction.
So I can't see anyone else at the moment. Is that
Currently,
by
no.
myself? Yeah.
You are currently by yourself, yes.
Oh.
I believe none of you can see each other.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Good. The
I
plan
will-
worked.
How quick is it from hearing each of the whoops?
So in the space of
What's
2
the
rounds
time?
for you, so literally 12 seconds, you hear the
Okay.
first one and then the second one.
Okay. Well, then I will assume it's something to do with the other two following me, as we agreed. And in this new area, my first thing will to be light my torch.
Okay. You light your torch.
So, yeah.
You get the flames burning, and it just erupts into heat immediately. You feel the heat wash over you briefly, and then the torch gutters out and stops burning.
Oh.
You don't lose the torch, though.
No, if it was to gut her out straight away, I'd just throw it. Be like, damn, it must have got wet.
All right. Okay.
I'll move forward a
That's-
few. Let's have a look.
Yeah. Have a look around as well at that point.
Okay. Alura?
When you say that there's like fungus around, I'm assuming it's the unnatural fungus that we've been seeing everywhere. Not like normal kind of decay and mushrooms.
It's a bit of both.
Oh. And is the ground coated in that unnatural fungus?
No.
Ooh, okay. In that case, then Alura would probably start trying to make her way towards the center, where this massive tree stump is.
Okay.
I see you.
As you all take a step forwards, the environment changes and the tree disappears, and you are left with just a clearing.
What the fuck?
It's like, be there, something. Catching glimpses of each other as you're walking through. Generally, the environment doesn't change, but the tree stump on the mountain, like the mound, disappears completely. And you are now left with ground that just doesn't seem to change, like doesn't seem to be showing any signs of ever having a tree stump on it.
I think I'd walk forward with my hand out to make sure I didn't bump into anything invisible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you all stepping forward again?
Yeah, I would step forward to where I saw the trunk, but I wouldn't move any closer, just in case there's more tricks.
Okay. Same for Alura, or are you just staying put?
No, she'd probably be trying to figure out where the tree stump went, and is this like all magic? Like, is it an illusion? Is it some other kind of magic that she can think of?
Okay. As both Grant and Tulip step forward, you can see each other now quite clearly across the clearing from each other. I think, Grant, you can see Alura. Tulip, you might have caught a glimpse of her at some point. She's currently hidden behind something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the environment changes again, and suddenly there are just very low hanging trees in front of you, both you and Grant and Tulip. Grant literally appeared within 5 feet of you, just these really short trees, probably about 6 foot tall, so about eye height, and almost about half as much in roots that have just seemed to have grown on top of each other and intertwined, and almost look like Devil's Snare from Harry Potter, where they don't move, but they all seem to be kind of pulsing slightly, or almost like they're on water with a tide that's just sort of making them bobble ahead of you.
Probably like start walking around the bottom to get to the other two.
Okay. Alura, you see that too, where these trees just appear.
Yeah.
And there doesn't seem to be any kind of rhyme or reason. Not even where the old tree stump was just appeared.
Yeah, I would slowly make my way around this side down to Alura and hope that Tulip is going in the same direction.
Yeah, you can see Tulip now. Like, you've both made it to the bottom. As you make it to the bottom, the environment changes again, and suddenly there is an acrid, almost sulfuric pool of something. Some kind of liquid. Tulip,
Yeah.
as you're walking round and the environment changes again, your foot almost slips in. You manage to catch yourself just in time before you brush the fluid in this little pond. And Grant, you're a bit further in. You're not quite so bad, but it was a close call for you, Tulip.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it actually liquid? Because I'm gonna like kick a stone and see if it goes. I'll just move back probably and kick a stone
Okay.
to see if it actually is liquid or not.
It is, and it doesn't seem to be particularly thick. It could quite easily be water that's just gone stagnant. But just from a quick observational look, it has a slight glow to it, a slight sort of greeny yellow glow, and there is that sulfuric element sort of smell that's coming off it, and deep under the surface somewhere are bubbles that just kind of boop, boop, boop. But it's like difficult to tell where they are in relation underneath the surface.
That's a bit weird.
As I catch up to Tulip as he's doing that, do I notice if he's carrying a me on his back?
Mm-hmm. He has been this whole time, unless he dropped it.
No.
So yeah, he's holding a you.
Okay, I would be like, after seeing him kick the stone, because I assume that's how close I was. What you got there, Tulip? What's on your back?
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure if I'd like pulled you so hard something weird happened, but look, it looks like you a little bit. I
I'll
don't know
give it
why.
a poke with my trident.
Quick stabby stab.
Yeah, the tips of your trident just break through the surface layer, and you're basically just stabbing padding, essentially.
Oh, that's so weird. I mean, after I come through within a second, the rope seemed to go weird and just go through me.
Yeah, we did try to pull because we couldn't see you or hear you, and was like, that's not normal. But then I suppose nothing's really normal.
Yeah, I understand your concern, and cheers for trying to save me, at least, whatever this is that you pulled out.
Oh, kind of made next to one of you, haven't we? Like a distraction. You can put it
Are you
somewhere,
in
like a
keep
trap.
hold of it, then? That means we have to carry it.
Why don't you carry it? Because then you could run around a corner and then leave it there, then run around another corner, and then someone might be like, "Ah, I got you," and I haven't got you.
How much does it weigh?
Quite light enough, right, at you.
Do I catch it?
You catch it, or it gets launched right at you, and you just about manage to wrap your arms around it before it just takes you off your feet. This is quite light.
Huh.
Quite easy to hold.
Is it exactly the same size?
It's
His body.
uncanny. Aside from being just thicker and rounder, it is almost proportionately the same.
You could wear yourself if you took the padding out.
I don't see how that would help me, but it's a nice idea, Tulip.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Who's going to expect you to be wearing a disguise of yourself?
That is true.
Like the Sting mask, if anyone's a wrestling fan.
Yeah, exactly. Takes off the mask of
Sting.
Sting, and it's Sting.
Yeah. And they're like, oh no.
Well,
And everyone does
suppose
that oversell where they're just like, "Oh my god, amazing! Like, who'd have thunk it?"
if the dummy is not causing me trouble to lift while holding my trident, I'll keep it. I'll carry it then.
Okay.
You can wrap its arms around your waist.
While its legs drag along. No, get dirty.
Okay, around your neck and then the legs around your waist, like giving a piggyback.
Fine, we'll do that. We really should be finding Alura.
You can see her.
I would have been walking towards them through all of this.
Yeah.
So would I have?
I'm still
caught
gonna
up with
say it
them?
as you turn up.
Yeah. You've caught up. You just kind of,
Cool.
walking slowly, surveying the situation, aren't you? As you get closer to the pond, this is the longest you've all been here without an environment change.
And the environment didn't change while I was walking, but Tulip and Grunt were talking to each other.
Yep.
Okay.
So where to now? You came in that way. I came in over there. I'm guessing, Grant, you came in over that way.
The
Oops.
third way.
Sorry.
So, like, do we try walking down another way?
Well, what did you guys see when you first entered? I saw this, like, tree that looked like it had a door on it.
A door?
I saw a tree
yeah,
stump. I couldn't see a door from where I was, though.
Yeah.
Oh. But then it disappeared and went small.
Yeah, no, it definitely is water. Well, it's liquid in there because I kicked a stone in. So it's definitely like, I don't know, maybe this is what it really is.
Or is it this weird magic where, depending on how far away we are, we get a different area?
Oh, also, is there any more blood?
There are footsteps, or footprints even, that are coming from the direction Alura came from, but are obviously too big to be hers. One advantage of her being small is that she's got very distinguishable feet. And these footsteps basically get to the edge of the pool, the edge of the pond, and then stop.
I mean,
Do they look like they've stopped because a person has, like, stopped there, or does it look like it's kind of carried on walking, but we can't see it because of the pool?
Yes, that one.
The second one.
Mm-hmm.
Could have
It-
said yes to both.
Not the first one.
It looks like footstep, 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 footstep. You know how like footsteps tend to
Yeah.
be one after the other.
Yeah.
And then there's the left footprint, and then nothing
Because the pool has
Mid-stride.
started.
because the pool is there. That's the deduction you would
Yeah.
probably make.
Okay.
Can he walk on water, do you think?
No. Probably some illusion or magic. Or some. I don't even know with this guy. And I'm going to kind of go to the edge and I'm going to poke the end of the back end of my trident into the water to see if anything happens.
Okay. You dip your trident into the water, or the liquid, and there's a moment of nothing happened. As you pull your trident out, there is a tiny creature attached to the end. Almost like a tiny little insect that's just kind of holding on to the butt end of the trident.
Do I recognize this creature, or is it completely unique to me?
Roll. It's completely new to you. What's your
I would kind of.
what's your trident made of?
God. I've never actually decided that. It's blue, so I suppose some blue kind of metal.
Ah. Okay. Is it magical? It's not going to be magical. It's not magical.
No.
You had a magic item this whole time and never used it.
Aha! It was that legendary one. No, I would say it's just. Could you even make a weapon out of cobalt?
No. Probably not.
Okay, well it's not that.
Isn't cobalt radioactive?
I have no idea. Lapis, diamond.
not
It's
playing
blue
Minecraft.
and it's a trident.
This diamond was selling it.
I mean, it's
Prismarine. Is that a real material or is that a Minecraft material?
Prismarine's a gem.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so it
could
can't
just
be
be
made out
kind
of
of
that.
like
It's a
coloured steel.
yeah. You've got like a gilded steel that's slightly blue.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, we'll say that.
Okay. Okay. You are currently, for the foreseeable future, experiencing -1 with attack and damage rolls of your trident.
What? Why?
Even though he did the back end in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're noticing this little creature that's on the end of your trident is basically, as it's walking up the shaft of the trident, it's leaving behind like this just sort of almost rusted hole that's turning into a rusted gouge.
As soon as I notice that, I would immediately fling the back end of my trident in a random direction just to get rid of the creature.
Okay. Okay. Oof. It's a shame you didn't see that roll. I rolled a
That didn't
natural
sound
20
good.
for a 21.
Woohoo!
The creature just seems to hunker down and hold on to the end of your trident. And as you finish your swing, it just continues to just saunter up, getting closer and closer to the middle, leaving behind
How fast is
the
it
same
moving?
gouge. It's about an inch a second.
Oh god.
So
I'm
6
just gonna-
inches per turn.
Not in the water, but to like the right of me, throw what's left of my trident. Like, because obviously I've got it by the 3 prongs. I'm gonna like just boomerang throw it away from me.
Okay. Roll a dexterity check for me. Okay. You just yeet your trident away, and whether it was luck or just really good judgment, you manage to throw it, and you just hear a sort of splat as the trident makes contact with this sort of stone outcrop here, and as the trident falls to the ground, you can just see a blood spatter.
Well, can I see, or do I have to go up to see how much of my trident is left?
You'd have to go over and look at it properly.
Okay. I would wait a second just in case.
Was it really causing that much damage, or was it not just like almost like turning it into a recorder?
No, it was literally leaving a trail as it goes.
Yeah, but was it not like little holes?
No, it was just almost like it was gouging the hole as it went. So it's
Oh,
basically just ripped open from the end of from the end where it was dipped in, to about 18 inches up the shaft of your trident. It's just a great big line.
What the fuck?
I do on swords
Okay.
to make them lose some weight.
You
I would have gone up and checked, see how much is left.
I mean, it's still intact. It's just now got a bit of a whistle to it.
Like, how much of the trident is left without the holes, though? Like, that's kept its colour?
I'd say it probably got about halfway down.
Can I attempt to break the bad half off?
I don't know if it'd be a trident anymore after that, though, to be fair.
Would that be wise?
It's not about using it, it's sentimental to me.
Okay.
I mean, you can.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try and break off all the part that is damaged and looks bad and hopefully just carry the good part.
Okay. Make a strength check for me.
Oh no.
Okay. It takes a few moments of bending it down over your knee, but due to the damage of the structural integrity, it doesn't take too long for it to just tear, and then you're left now with half a trident staff, half a trident shaft with the 3 prongs at the end,
Yeah.
and a jagged gaping hole at the other.
I've now got what was the red Ninja Turtle using? And weird 3-prong trident. I never know what them weapons are called, but I've got basically one of them.
I don't even know what the red
I'm
one's
just
called.
gonna stick it in my.
Twin Sai, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's Raphael that uses them.
Sure, whatever
Yeah,
a
it is.
twin Sai is.
It's basically a trident without a long handle.
Okay.
It's got a short handle, but they've got like a long middle point. So it's, yeah, weird.
That's all he's got
Anyway,
left.
I'm not planning on using it like that just yet. So I'll just stick it in my backpack as a sentimental item to carry with me.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
What about the creature? Is it completely squished or stabbed?
Yeah,
Or how did it?
it's just a goo stain now on the rock.
Okay.
As
I
you're
just smirk and like take that.
as you do that, the lake disappears again, and reappearing in front of you is the tree stump, with what you saw previously, Grant, of the small pathway leading up to a doorway, that has steps made out of roots.
Oh.
With, again, the door is quite wide, quite tall, and also made out of roots that just seem to be intertwined and one with itself, basically.
And do we see the footsteps leading on as if it walked up here?
Yes.
maybe it just changes every now and then, but like if we go to it, it's just gonna stay what it is.
Hmm.
Well, should we go now, just
Think-
in case?
I think so.
Should we run?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna start
yeah,
walking fast.
Okay.
Tulip's
yeah.
walking fast is probably Alura's running, so she's gonna run.
Okay.
And I'm like that awkward NPC that's too slow for for running, but too fast for walking.
I hate that NPC.
You're doing like the really annoying slow jog.
Yeah.
The that guy irritates me every time. Okay. As you approach the door, there is a sort of engraving like written into the trunk that just literally says, "Go away, leave me alone."
Wait, it's written in common. We can actually read it.
You can read it.
Okay, because I know I can't read much.
It's written in everything, probably. Grant, I think you should knock.
Why should I? You're the biggest one here.
Yeah,
Maybe
More
use your
intimidated,
trident.
Whoever.
exactly. I don't want to be.
That's a sore subject.
I don't want to be scary, you know. So maybe.
I don't think you would be. I'm the one carrying a me on my back.
Yeah.
Forgot already.
You know, it's moments like that that make me wish we had someone who would do like fan art, just to draw Grant
carrying Grant,
with Grant on his back.
Oh,
but
dear.
a slightly chubbier Grant.
Mm-hmm. It'd be great.
I kind of just put my head down, sigh, and walk up, and knock.
Okay. You knock on the door, and there's silence.
If nothing happens after a couple, well, we'll say 10 seconds, I'll turn to the other two, look at them, and go, I guess we can just go in then, and try the door.
Okay. Well, shame on me for not locking the door.
My expert lockpicking skills, I didn't know I had.
You just will the door open.
Yeah.
You are not a Warhammer, a Warhammer, not Warhammer, Warcraft. Is it Warcraft? Something like that? I don't even know. Orc. Oh God. Move on. Sorry.
So the door's locked. Nobody's answering.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any kind of gap that we could see through, like a window?
No, it's almost entirely sealed.
Okie dokie.
Well, Tulip, do you want to see if you can bash your way in? As I step to the side.
Oh, that's a bit rude, though, isn't it? Oh, maybe we need to knock and shout something.
Be my
Okay.
guest, while I'll have a look to see if there's anything around us that may help.
Okay. Probably knock on the door a bit louder.
Okay.
And say, Malakir, we know you're in there. You can't get away.
Okay. Roll. Are you trying to be intimidating, or are you trying to just sort of be commanding?
I guess intimidation, I think.
Excuse me. Okay. Roll for an intimidation check then, please.
Do I get advantage on them?
When you're
I'll
raging,
guidance you.
I think.
I've got something. Menacing. No, proficiency.
Ah.
Okay. I just got to gain proficiency for it. Cool. You guidance me, thank you.
Yes.
Why have I lost my bar at the top again? Okay. Intimidation.
Have you got yourself selected?
Probably not. Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
couldn't have gone any better.
well, I couldn't save them for attacking anything. That's what I prefer.
Okay. As you bang on the door, Malakir, come out, we know you're in there. You just hear a soft sigh and some tiny footsteps and a scratch down the door. And then the door swings open. In front of you is just like, imagine Dobby, the house elf, but like grey, like a sort of charcoal black grey thing. It's difficult to describe. Like, none of you would have seen anything like this before. It's shorter even than Alura, probably standing like 1.5 feet tall, but
How grey is it? Because I'm grey, so is it greyer than
oh,
me? Like
it's
darker
it's
grey?
it's like a black grey, like proper deep grey.
Oh, okay.
And the way the sort of door and the stump work, it still looks down on all of you, even though it's so small. And it just kind of looks at you. Doesn't seem to say anything.
We can see the footsteps that someone who's very bad walked up here. And also our friend is missing in here somewhere. Don't know if you've seen him. Dragon person.
What languages do you speak?
Common, Orcish, and I think I'm gonna say Gnomish, but I'll confirm.
I'm going to say whatever language we're talking to. in
Common,
this
Gnomish,
game.
and Orc. Yeah.
Okay.
No idea.
The creature replies in like a sort of melodic tone, but in a tongue that you don't understand. It's almost musical. And then it says something else, but in a much harsher, deeper, gruffer tone. And again, in a different language, but you still don't understand. And then it speaks again in a third language with a third different tone. This time, almost completely devoid of inflection. It's just a monotone. And then it speaks again. Who are you?
We're just people trying to save the world. Hopefully.
I see. And why are you here?
Well, there's this person called Malik here.
Oh no.
He's doing some bad things. And that's in, well, the place we came from, which isn't here. So we fought him a little bit and he ran away. And then it looks like his bloody trail came to this area and then footsteps came up to this house. But you don't look like Malik here.
No, I'm not Malakir.
So what's your name?
My name is different in your language. I don't think it makes sense.
Do you want me to give you a name?
No. I think my name translates to turnip.
My name's Tulip.
Wow. We have such similar names. I can see we're going to be such great friends.
Pleasure to meet you. And I move forward and reach my hand out for a handshake.
As you reach your hand down to like take its hand and shake it, like your hand is so big compared to the creature that like a handshake with him is basically just like you putting your your index fingertip in your hand and shaking it.
Does he take my hand? Or they take
He
my
does. He just reaches out and puts his hand in yours, but that's sort of the size comparison when you get your hand down there to him.
We're going to be good friends, I think.
Yes, I hope so. Tulip and Turnip taking over the world.
Maybe we'll put a pin in that one. But could we see Maliki? Because I think he came up here.
Malakir. Is he the... No.
He might have been bleeding a bit because I hit him a few times with my axe.
Turnip just sort of points behind him. Well, there's lots of blood in here too. Can you see? Silly things.
Takes a while to get out that stuff, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a nightmare. You should have seen me last summer. Oh, there was blood everywhere. It took me months to get it all out.
Were you like reenacting a play or something?
There's like a sort of semi-mid-distance stare. Sort of.
You can show us sometime, maybe.
I can show you now if you'd like to come in for some tea.
Do you want to go in for some tea?
I like your flower. I have some flowers in here if you'd like to come and look at my collection.
I will stride in there. Try not to knock him over.
You'd literally just step over him.
Flowers?
As you step in, the door behind you slams and locks. And you step into an absolutely disgusting room just coated in blood. It just smells of butchery. On the right hand side, as you look, there are cups and bottles and vials of all sorts of different coloured liquids. In the centre of the room, there is a flower. He didn't lie. And it's kind of resting on the floor next to what appears to be almost like a cauldron that has a bit of a bubble going, but any kind of look at the surface and it just seems to the substance inside is somewhere between invisible and completely opaque. To be fair, everything is somewhere between invisible and completely opaque, but that's not the point. It kind of fluctuates between almost like a solid and ethereal. And then Turnip just turns to you. I'm sorry for the deception, but your friends weren't talking. They weren't very nice. And just sort of steps around you. And
You're okay.
comes into the corner. I am okay. Would you like some tea?
No, my friends are good. They can come in, right?
Soon. We'll have a one-to-one chat first.
Okay. I mean,
If you don't like tea, would you like some different tea?
I don't often drink tea. I like to drink water quite a lot. But all the water I've seen recently has not been looking that good.
No, it's a bit icky round here.
Yeah.
I have something that's like water, but not quite.
Probably not for now, thanks.
Not for now. Not for now.
Maybe later.
Not for now. Not for now. Not for now.
So, Malik here, is this his blood then? Or.
Oh, heavens, no.
Okay.
Not his. I don't actually know whose name it is, what their name was, but they screamed a lot.
Oh.
They didn't
They
like
bad?
they didn't like the tea.
Oh. Were they a bad person?
I don't know. I didn't ask them.
Oh.
Oh, I have a finger of theirs, and he literally just like picks up a finger off the ground, and it's sort of from like the second knuckle. It's just the tip of the index finger. You can have it if you like.
I don't often collect that kind of thing. I like just the flowers really for me for collecting.
Flowers. Flowers.
Mm.
Oh yes, they left a flower too. And he just runs over, picks up the flower. Look, look, look! It's yellow.
That's a nice. Is it a nice looking flower?
It's been stepped on a few times, and the stalk's all bent and disfigured. You can have the flower if you like.
No, because I've got one. But what you should do is do what I do, and you can get a little pocket, and then you can put the flower, and you just look. There's soil in there as well, and you just put some water in there now. And then it lasts like a little while, not long enough, but a little while, a few days.
That's nice.
Yeah. So you should try that.
You should try the tea.
Hmm. Could my friends come in now we've had our one-on-one time? They might like the tea. They might. You can ask them. I've seen them drink things. This one friend I got has got his trident he really likes, and then he poked it into some water and he broke it.
Ah, yes! I know that! I know the answer to that.
What do you mean?
Can you keep a secret?
Yeah.
Promise me. I'll know if you lie to me.
Yes, but only if you are nice to me, and then I'll keep your secret.
Of course I'm nice to you. We're friends. Tulip and Turnip, friends forever.
As long as we stay friends, I'll keep your secret.
Okay, I'll tell you. I went somewhere that had these things, and I heard someone call them rust monsters. And so I stole some. And then I shrunk them. And then I put them in my pond. And then
they rust things.
Yes.
But yeah, some metal rust, doesn't it?
It does. Was your friend's trident rusty? Was it metal?
Must have been.
Oh, that's funny. What happened to the rust monster?
I don't know. Wait, he threw the trident, and I think he got squished.
What?
Yeah.
He killed my pet.
I think the rock killed your pet. I think he was scared and just threw the trident, and then the rock killed your pet.
He kicks his fingers. Grant.
Yeah.
I need you to make a strength saving throw, please. Okay.
Yes.
From all around you, vines just start growing around you and just entangling you. And you manage to just force your way out. And as the spell is cast, Tulip, there's a moment where you just look at Turnip's face, and he just looks and realizes, like, he's got a look on his face of he's made a big mistake. And in front of your eyes, and I mean literally in front of your eyes, he just... Okay, well, there we go. I found it. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, this is a lot less... a lot less interesting than it's supposed to be. Oh, God, I can't even find what I'm looking for. Basically, Turnip turns from Turnip to Malakir. I can't find his picture to make him look like Malakir again, but it's Malakir in front of you. But then...
Oh my god.
I know, who'd have thunk it, right? The deception. But then also, on top of the vines entangling, Grant is another Malakir. And then near you, Alura, another Malakir.
Oh, what the fuck?
Wait, we were friends, and you were Malakir all along.
You should have just drunk the tea.
I don't drink tea.
I need everyone to roll initiative, please.
So funny, as a monk in a monastery, he would always drink tea. Pick the wrong person.
There I am.
I hope my Malakir is after me, but I don't know.
Okay, let's start the song that says, "Try not to die."
Amazing.
It's literally the name. All right. We begin combat. There we go. Grant, you react first. The vines reach up to try and entangle you, and then you break free, and a Malakir just pops up in front of you. Probably here, to be fair, not right next to you.
Okay, so yeah. Being the already enticed in vines at once by Malika, I would have seen the signs, which is why I escaped so easily this time. And with not seeing any of the others appear, and just this one, I'm gonna be like, I knew you were around here, waiting for us to slip up. And realise I don't have my trident, which is very sad. Because I actually did just realise that I no longer can use that as my first opening move. I will just angrily walk up to him. As like, just imagine me walking, try and be as proper like puffed out, but while on my back is a bouncy version of me, bouncing around.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna get this, as that's just boing boing boing.
Her legs just flapping around wildly.
Yeah. And
If you turn it around onto your front, you get a +1 to your AC.
maybe. Can I use my flurry of blows first?
I think so, yeah.
Straight up,
I think you need to attack.
straight into that.
Do you need to attack to do flyer blows?
Quite possibly.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll do an knife strike on him.
After you take, yeah, you have to take the attack action on your turn, and then you can spend the key point.
Okay. Great.
That misses, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
I'm
you
not
took the
used to
attack
this,
action.
Yeah,
your weight's a little bit off because you've got extra 10 kilos on your back.
yeah, I'm not used to fighting with a buddy.
No.
I will spend a key point to do flurry of blows.
You.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this weight is really throwing me off. Well, my last strike.
That's better. Good.
Finally.
That hits.
For 7.
For 7 points of damage. Okay. All Alrighty then. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Okie dokie. Alura, it is now your turn.
So I don't get disadvantage when they're 10 feet away, do I? It's only 5 feet.
Yeah,
on
if
spells.
you are doing any ranged attack, if they are within melee of you, then you are at disadvantage.
Okay. So yeah, in that case, I'm going to use a guiding bolt on the Malakir that's next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it as first level for now. So attack.
10
I'm gonna
misses,
reroll.
unfortunately. You're gonna lucky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Use those dice.
Yeah. Try again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's better. That definitely
Hope for
hits.
23 hits.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool. And then damage. Just keeping it as normal.
8. Okay.
Cool. And then as my bonus action, I am also going to cast my spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it saved at the minute, so roll
Spiritual weapon.
1d20 plus 5, isn't it?
Plus 5. Where are you putting it? Boop.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, that would be where I would put it.
Okay.
An 8 wouldn't miss for an attack, wouldn't it?
It would, yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So in that case, yeah, I'm just going to cast it and have it there. And that is going to be my turn.
Alright. The Malakir inside the tree with Tulip is within melee range of you and is, as such is going to
Force him to drink tea.
I will
Only
not
once.
do it.
you will. That's not good. Yes. He kind of flings out his hand, spirit fingers, and just mutters to himself, and as he does, just a flame just starts emanating from his thumb, basically. He wraps his hand around what now is a hilt of a sword, and has flame blade cast. Okay, does that then give him a flame blade? It does. Nice.
I gave all of them a flame blade.
Yes, it did. That's literally what I was about to say.
Oh, okay.
All 3 of them. Even the 2 outside, Alura and Grant, you see the same blade. Not that you know, but you see the same blade emanate from your 2 Malakirs as well, or your Malakir as well.
Amazing.
I believe that was an action. Yes.
It says bonus action at the bottom of that thing.
It does. Fantastic. He's going to make an attack with
You
it.
gave it to him.
Oh, no.
Does 22 hit?
It does indeed.
All right. You take 8 points of fire damage from this sort of
Ouch.
literal blade of fire as it just swipes down your front. It doesn't cut you. It's literally just a burn right down your front. That's its turn. Next is the Malakir with Alura. That's the wrong button. He turns to you. is going to. No, I think he's just gonna step forwards. And he's gonna make 2 attacks with his flame blade on you. 13 misses, I believe.
Misses.
Okay. And 26.
Reroll it, please. I'm using my last lucky.
Oh, clutch. Okay.
Hits anyway.
Yeah. You take 6 points of fire damage as you just get burned down your front. The blade seems to sort of completely ignore your armor and just kind of glides through and burns a gouge down your front.
Nice.
Nice. Tulip.
I'm going to look at this Malik here and just go, friends, don't lie. And then I'm going to rage.
Oh, God.
And you thought he was mad when we lied about the flowers.
Yeah.
And then now I'm seething. Do we do it? Yes, might as well. I'll do the -5 weapon master.
Okay.
Reckless attacks.
Reckless. Oh my
Advantage.
God. What? Like, why are they popping up so big?
Double rage. Oh, I rolled normally. I'm supposed to roll advantage.
Oh, roll again.
Okay, let's roll one more time.
19 hits.
Maybe 14.
14 still hits.
Thankfully. Damage, so +10. Slightly low.
29? Oh no, 19. I was like, bloody hell, 29 is not low.
Yeah, I got a 3.
Okay.
That's bonus action and attack. Yeah, I think that is everything I can do.
Okie dokie. What does your strike look like? Describe it for me.
So he rages, and then he just gets focused completely on him. And I feel like I don't know, is he holding the flower still, or has he dropped it?
He's dropped the flower. But
Okay.
like as you hit him, basically when your strike makes contact, that's when he drops it.
Oh, okay. He drops the flower, and I don't know, I just see even more rage that he's disregarding such a flower, so I'm just trying to just like strike down at his head.
Okay.
Maybe just slightly miss, I guess. Otherwise,
Yeah, he dodges it. He dodges his head out of the way, and you just kind of take him right down the front, and like half an inch further forward, and you've probably taken his shoulder off. But not quite. Which one is it? Is this guy? Okay. Grant, you're Malakir. He's going to.
Be very confused that there's 2 of me and stop fighting.
Afraid not.
Damn.
He's gonna try Withering Bloom. I've never cast a spell. This is what it does. He's gonna cast it on you. You need to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yay. Oh no.
Oh no.
That is not what we wanted.
You take 4 points of necrotic damage.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Does it not do anything else to me?
You invoke both death and life upon 10-foot radius scented sphere. Each creature of your choice in that area must make a con save, taking 2d6 necrotic on a failed save. Nope, just that. Wow. What a disappointing spell.
Oh, you gain hit dice if...
Yeah, you're not going to use the hit die.
On a creature of your choice in that area, you can spend and roll. Oh, right, okay. So I'm going to take one of your hit die. And okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll
Well,
take that.
Yeah, I'll take that too. So I get 6 hit points back. Nice! Okay.
And I go down to 3. There we go.
There we go. That is Malakir's turn. And we swing back round to Grant.
Yeah, I was not happy about being withered
No, I can imagine.
and him just reaching into my pocket and stealing one of my health dice.
Basically,
Imagine
yeah.
that's how they work.
The kind of explosion of necrotic energy that just emanates from the ground, you feel the life leave you, and you just see Malakir kind of feel slightly more, like, look more invigorated straight away.
Now I'm just gonna punch him again.
All right, it seems fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that hits.
I'm getting my balance.
7. Well, there go those hit points he just earned.
Yeah. I'm taking them back, and then I'm going to use a key point to do flurry of blows as a bonus action.
Okay. That hits too.
Follow that.
You're hitting your stride now.
Yeah.
5, nice. That's not bad.
And then my second strike.
12 just misses.
Ooh, okay.
I'm
Kind of
afraid.
in a rhythm, and then I guess I just graze with the last one. I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
I'll get building up the
Feeling
the weight.
the train is starting to leave the station.
Yeah.
I think that's
But
how
that
the
is my
phrase
turn.
goes. Okay, Alura.
I am going to. I'll just use my spiritual weapon to attack.
Okie dokie.
So. Oh,
Just misses.
damn it. That's
Wow.
fine.
Misses by 2. It's 13 AC.
And then for my action,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to use my mace on him.
Okay. Nice and simple. Give it a bonk.
Give it a bonk. Ah,
9 misses, I'm afraid.
yeah.
You don't get to bonk him. He just jumps backwards out of the way of the spiritual weapon. And at the same time, that puts him out of range of your mace, and you just miss. You just waft down in front of him.
Ooh, swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Speaking of swing and a miss,
Hello.
2 shots with the flame blade. Swing and a miss with a 10. Haha! 23. That hit you. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. 7 points of fire damage, not halved.
I know.
I know. Yeah.
Gosh, damn it. Is it concentration by any chance? No, damn it.
Is it not?
I don't know. It doesn't say it on here, but I don't know. He just made a sword, I guess.
To be fair, I didn't actually check that. Flame blade. It is concentration.
Ooh. Took some-
Not that Tulip would potentially know that, but it is
I wouldn't
concentration.
know.
And as he takes one swing, you dodge out of the way. He takes another, and again just burns across your stomach, and then just sort of takes one little hop and disappears into the ground, and then like almost sort of into a shadow, but there isn't a shadow. It's just the blood on the ground, and then reappears just behind you.
Okay.
Sort of like a tiny underground hop.
Yeah, so no opportunity attack for that.
No, not for that one. Alura. Nope, can't do that. Just gonna do 2 shots against you again. Well, two
Sounds good.
swings. Kaboom.
Whew.
11 misses, I guess.
Yep.
quite comprehensively, no doubt. Oh, bloody hell.
Thank God.
13 also misses. This Malakir doesn't seem to be having much luck. Two
Me
swings,
either, buddy.
2 swings, and your shield just gets in the way. And it seems like your divinity or your connection to the divine seems to stop the flame from breaching the shield. So it just makes contact almost like an entirely normal sword. Strong,
Yes, Hestia.
but yes, Hestia. Yestia.
Right.
Tulip.
I'm just gonna spin round and like. I won't say anything. Like I'm raging. I'm a bit angry.
You are.
So I want to do the same thing again. I believe.
All right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Right. I'll click advantage properly this time. -5 on this. Ooh, that's not gonna hit.
That
And
does not hit, I'm afraid.
does not. Have I got any good bonus actions? I don't even know if I do.
You can filter by on your features.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it.
No, that's really upsetting. Low level.
It is. It
no
is.
bonus. And only 1 attack for the, until like 5th level.
Yep.
I guess that's me.
That's you. This Malakir, the one by Grant. Could you do that? Yeah, I don't see why not. He mumbles to himself again, and just releases his hands out in front of you. I need both, both of you in that square to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh no.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh, well, it's okay. The automatic reroll.
That worked out for you. Yeah.
I've never been happier to see a nat 1.
Honestly, as a halfling, nat 1s are your friend. Okay. You both managed to avoid this blast of just light. It kind of 2 motes eject from the Malakir's fingertips, land in the middle of you two, and just explode out. And you avoid the blast, kind of getting down low and then standing up, and there's no effect. You all just hear, all of you hear Malakir go, ah, shit. Grant. Oop, that's the wrong one.
Yes.
Your turn.
Yeah. I don't know what he did, and I do not care. I'm just gonna punch him.
Yeah, I mean, that hits. Uh, 5
Damage
points.
is damage.
Damage is damage.
Should I? Yeah, I'll spend another key point.
All right.
Flurry of blow it.
Flurry of blow it. 14 hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
7 points of
And
damage.
then my second unarmed attack. So I'm just wailing on this guy now.
14 also hits.
Oh, look at that. Back to rolling the 14s.
Nice.
And another 7. So that's a grand total of like 19 damage. No, 20. Yeah, 19 this round.
Yeah.
So those do soon add up, don't they?
I'm just punching left, right, and on him. I'm trying to beat him into the ground, but he's not submitting at the moment.
Currently, no. He is looking very rough. And as you're making contact with him, not that you can see because you're facing the wrong way, but Alura, you can see that he's taking each blow and moving with the blows. Same for you, Tulip. You can see him just like taking these hits that you're not giving him. And there are welts,
cool.
welts all over his face that are appearing from nowhere.
I don't understand what's happening.
You have no idea what's happening.
See, I'm so focused on this one, and even though I've heard Alura attack and some spells go off behind me, I've not looked. I'm still just so focused on this guy.
Laura.
I think we're going to do the same again. Spiritual weapon and mace attack.
Okay.
Oh, we'll start with the spiritual weapon. Nope.
Nope.
And a mace attack. Normal. Oh, finally.
Nice.
Nice.
Boys.
So damage. Critical, isn't it?
That's the one.
Yep. Nice.
Well, that's harsh.
Is that so? Yeah, that's 4. That's 4.
Beautiful.
Gotta love it when. Oops, sorry. Gotta love it when crits happen and you're just like, yeah, I get loads of damage. Oh, I rolled really low.
Yeah.
Okay, this Malakir is going to. Okay. Yeah. No. Wait. What's he doing? Yeah, I can't do
Pick your
that.
own two.
Sorry, I got confused. He's just gonna have to hit you again. Hit 1. 18.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, that's a bit more.
That's 12 points of fire damage. And then attack numero 2. Oh. Normal service is resumed for a 15.
Just missed though.
Just missed though. Not far from it. And the same thing again. He disappears into the ground and reappears this time, sort of perched on top of the cauldron type thing in the middle of the room. And he kind of chuckles to himself, and all of you hear, but this is mostly directed at Tulip. If you go through this, if you look through this, she'll find you. She'll help you. She'll give you what you want.
Yeah, paying attention to that.
He isn't paying attention. Malakir numero B. He's going to use this turn to cast Cure Wounds.
That's not allowed. Only we can cast Cure Wounds. Holy shit!
Who has a counter spell?
Alright. That's the wrong button.
All my hard punching.
All of you just see Malakir put his hand on his chest, whisper something to himself, and then just immediately some of the welts from the punches disappear, and he looks a bit more ready to go. Tulip!
Well, part of me's thinking don't go for the -5, but
It's so tempting, though.
it is tempting, so I'm going to do it again stupidly. -5. Oh, you love to see that.
Love to see it.
Oh,
Critical hit.
you love to see that. I don't know if that was the first dice and the last dice. I don't know. Oh, that's a 12 there as well.
39. Oh,
I get a bonus action to do it again.
you do indeed. You do indeed. All of you see just a great big gouge, essentially, just carved from like shoulder to hip. And again, a few inches closer, and you'd have probably just like cut him almost in half.
Oh. Let me just check. So I can only reckless my first attack on my turn. Okay,
Yeah.
that is cool. So I'm just gonna go for the -5 anyway because I think he just did. It still give me advantage though.
I think Reckless just lasts the turn, doesn't it?
I thought it did.
I think it
Yeah, I
lasts
thought
that
it was
turn.
just so many turns.
Well,
Yeah,
I
one
won't-
turn it says.
I won't. You know what? -5 still.
Yeah, so doing so gives you advantage on melee weapon attacks using strength during this turn, but attack rolls against you have advantage so next turn. 20 still hits.
So it'd be 15, but I think it was. You said it was like 13, right?
Yeah.
Plus 10.
Oh, 25. Tulip. My good, close, personal Angie friend.
Mhm.
After doing 64 points of damage in one turn, how doth one kill your opponent?
I think he's talking to us, saying like, look through here and all this kind of stuff, and I'm not even paying attention. I'm just looking at how small he is and how easy it should be to squish him, and then I'm just gonna like double hack. And I'd like to, if I can, on the second one, kind of like go through his skull and embed my axe into the cauldron a little bit,
Ooh, nice.
and kind of split him open on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean?
Bifurcate him basically, and
Yeah, half.
your axe just takes an entire sort of inch of a gouge out of the cauldron, and some of the fluid starts to seep out, and as it hits the floor, it just like goes the color of the floor, like deep blood red. All of you see like the half of a bifurcation of Malakir take place in front of you, and then the body just slumps to the floor.
I'm gonna be raging for the next 35 whatever seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be looking for something to kill in the house, so I'll leave it with the other two.
Okay.
Do the bodies outside just drop?
The bodies
like
outside.
inside, or do they disappear?
The bodies outside drop like inside, but then they disappear.
Oh, okay. Even
What the
before it
hell was
disappears, I'm
that?
still gonna try and kick it.
You're still gonna try and kick it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gone. There's nothing to kick.
Yeah, I went through it and like stumbled a little. Stood back up as soon as Alura says, "What was that?"
Actually, sorry, can I start smashing the door with my axe?
Yes.
Because I won't check to see if it's unlocked now, because I mean it wasn't unlocked before.
No.
So while I'm raging, I'd just like to recklessly attack the door if that's okay.
Yeah, just make attack rolls against it for me.
I don't know if I can -5 these or not, but
Yeah, -5.
let's assume it. Okay, so 14.
Hits.
Oh, +10. I didn't do the +10 this time.
27. Okay. Still there, but you've taken a big gouge. You're basically here's Johnnying the door at the moment.
Okay, as soon as we hear that first one, I'm turning around to look at the door.
Same.
You can just see Tulip's angry, like full-on rage-induced head just sticking through the door right now. Not sticking through, but through the door.
Yeah, like
I'm going to back away a little bit.
I'm going for another one if no one else is.
I haven't noticed the Law of Black backed away. I'm just watching.
The second
7.
The second one, just the axe head flies exactly through the last place, and there's through the hole in the that you've gouged out already, and kind of just clangs disappointingly against the door of the root. No, the roots of the door.
I'd keep going until I got through it.
Okay,
Unless
just
you want me to keep rolling.
make a strength check for me, with advantage, obviously, because you're raging.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then +5 because we'll say Great Weapon Master.
16.
Yeah, takes you a couple
Right,
more
okay.
hits. Takes you a couple more hits, but you do eventually get through, and the door just falls to your will. Have you noticed how the door opens and closes, by the way?
That's
Yeah.
a light.
It's a very nice touch.
I didn't
Yeah.
notice that. That's really cool.
Probably my rage would probably go at this point. I took a few turns getting through that door.
It did, yeah. Okay. No longer raging. Calm.
I'll come back now he's
Oh.
calmed down.
I wouldn't question it as he comes out. Tulip, you good?
There was a turnip person who's offered me tea, but I didn't drink the tea because I don't like tea, really.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You-
good,
you don't-
Tulip.
Yeah, that was smart of you.
Very smart.
You okay?
I think
I
we're all
think-
right.
Yeah, Malachi turned up again.
Oh.
But then he just kind of split in half randomly.
Yes. So, whatever you did in there, which you probably don't remember, you may have saved us.
What, by saying no to a cup of tea?
I mean,
Turnip.
I guess.
I'm going back in looking for turnip.
There's blood on the floor, more blood than there was previously, but Turnip's not here.
Oh yeah, the door hasn't closed this time. I'm gonna follow since it hasn't closed.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, Alura's going to want to see what's in here.
There was exactly this amount of blood in here before. Let you know.
You don't have to say that like you're being suspicious. We saw inside. It was pretty nasty.
I think I'm quite sometimes smart. He's very persistent about the tea, so it's either really good and we should try it, or we probably shouldn't try it.
I think we shouldn't try it.
To
Well, I
me, it
wouldn't
sounds
anyway.
like he's just trying to make you drink the lake water. Does sound fun.
Wait, I remember there was something about a rust monster. I think that's why your trident. It was his pet. He wasn't happy.
That would be the only thing that could have broken my trident.
I could break a trident, I reckon.
Yeah, we're not attempting that.
It's already broken anyway.
Wow. Wow. I'm
I'm
just gonna ignore them and go
kidding.
over and have a look
I'm
through. Are there
joking.
anything I can like looks usable? Potions or something to throw? I don't know.
I mean, there's
Anything I
plenty.
can
There's
loot?
there's plenty you could throw. Make an intelligence check for me.
I mean, I
But-
wouldn't be picking stuff up normally.
no.
I'd be looking at labels.
Yeah, I know. Make an intelligence check, and I just add +1 for your survival.
Oh, okay. If I do this, I'm sure it should come out.
Cool.
Yeah.
None of them are labeled, which is why you needed
Right.
to roll the check. Even with your limited knowledge, none of these look safe. They're all kind of either bubbling or they're just really nasty looking. Some of them, despite being corked, have little bits of steam and smoke billowing out of them. And some of them have things floating in them, like toenails and teeth. And you're pretty sure you saw an eyeball.
That's
You
disgusting.
guys. Yeah. You guys wouldn't be upset if I took some of these, would ya?
I mean, is it wise?
Well, they all look dangerous and they might be useful to deterring people away. Obviously, we wouldn't want to drink them on ourselves, but I could throw them at people.
You go nuts.
I mean, Alura, he does need something new to throw.
Wow. I'm just gonna
Tulip
start
is
loading up.
savage today.
I'm just gonna start loading up on any potions that look dangerous that seem safe to carry.
Grant, you take 4 points of emotional damage.
Oh damn.
Should we look around for anything? He said look into this. I guess the cauldron. No, I won't. No, I won't
I
remember.
was going to say
I was raging.
that would require a wisdom check.
Yeah, I was raging. Don't worry. I
Mhm.
don't remember that. Should we look around for anything that might help stop the rot stuff?
The rock monster. Dun, 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 dun.
Um,
Yeah, sure. I'll start having a look around, like at the
Oh.
walls and at all the shit that's around.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
I'm gonna investigate as well.
Okay. Both of you roll investigation checks for me.
I'm going to guidance myself.
Of course.
What? Not me with my really high score already.
when you're already
Nice.
so good though, like, do you need it really?
See, I
True.
needed it.
Yeah, you really did.
Tulip's too smart.
Tulip's just too smart. um. Tulip, you don't
Mhm.
see anything particularly usable. You see a lot of apparatus that could probably be used for dismemberment, murder, torture, and generally quite unpleasant things. The only thing that keeps sort of somewhat drawing your eye is the cauldron in the middle. But, you know, unless you are actively looking at it, then everything else just seems unuseful.
Mm.
Same for you, Alura. Generally, everything's just detritus, essentially.
That's fair.
Unpleasant stuff.
So he kept a lot of rubbish, it seems, but the
Bit of a
cauldron's
hoarder.
yeah, the cauldron's a bit of a something different. Should we try to break it? I don't want to look into it unless someone else wants to look into it.
Would I be able to look? Can I look to see if there's any like empty vials around, or any kind of empty container that I can use to kind of like look into this, like, to see it?
Into the cauldron.
I don't want to look into the cauldron. I want to see if I can like scoop out some of the liquid and look at it separately.
Oh, right. Yeah. You could empty out a vial from the side and use that.
Okay, and are there tongs as well?
Yes. But they appear to be made out of a radius and ulna, which for the uninitiated is the arm bone.
That'll do. I'll use that to pick up the vial and then scoop out from the cauldron. Like, I don't want to actually touch any of it myself.
Okay. That makes sense. So you kind of use the bones to clamp around the vial and dip it in. And once the liquid is out of the cauldron, it just kind of turns to a clear fluid. Very similar to water.
Okay.
Where it,
Would I be able to use some kind of like an Arcana check on it or something to see if it's actually water or? I'm not proficient in Arcana. The only thing kind of relevant would be medicine.
Medicine you could possibly do. It wouldn't necessarily determine whether it's actual water, but you could probably determine what kind of properties it has.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll medicine for me.
And I'm going to guidance it.
Of course.
Think it.
I have to say it.
I know you do, but I'm just going to go, of course, every time.
Yeah.
19. Okay. It's definitely not water. Upon like closer inspection, it's a bit too thick and viscous to be water. But you can't see anything necessarily dangerous about it
Right.
by itself.
Yeah.
It would make logical sense for this to be something that has to be combined with something else to have an effect.
Okay.
Ooh.
Bit of a mixer.
Yeah.
Can I find something metal? Because I'm thinking now there might be some rust monsters in there.
Okay. I mean, Grant has half a trident.
Just too soon.
Oh, sorry. There are cages at the back of the room that you could probably break a bar off.
Yeah, just grab a little bit of shard of metal, a few
Mhm.
inches long or whatever, and just dip it in
Okay.
and see if anything occurs.
Nothing to begin with. And then it's almost like something is tugging it from the other end of the shard and trying to pull it away from you.
Well, I'd be a bit freaked out and probably let go.
Okay. It just gets slurped straight into the fluid. Like when as you insert it into the cauldron, it's almost like the fluid inside, despite bubbling on the surface, when you can see it, like when it's that in between stage of translucent and opaque, so there's just a bit of color to it. You can see it's bubbling, but it also, as you start inserting the shard, it just is almost like complete jelly, and how thick and wobbly it is. So then when it gets like pulled out of your hand, it just gets slurped straight in and disappears. You can't even see it.
Something is in the cauldron. It pulled it.
I think we should set a fire and run.
We could do.
Hang on, I'm not done getting my potions, and at this point I will either fill my bag up to full, if there's more potions, or I would be pulling the stuffing out the dummy on my back and putting potions into it as a makeshift backpack.
Okay. You collect about a dozen mysterious potions and
Nice.
stuff them into your backpack of yourself.
Yeah.
Ron, are you okay?
Yeah, definitely not worried about the loss of my trident. I'm fine.
Alura, roll
Yes.
roll a perception check for me.
Ooh,
I did
with
that
guidance.
with... No.
Ooh, halfling.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh, that was so lucky.
Nice. Halfway through that sentence that Grant says, you notice that his mouth isn't moving. And then towards the end of the sentence, you notice that the stuffed version of him is the one talking.
What the fuck?
I was about to say, as I'm saying that, Tulip doesn't see, but just a single tear rolls down my eye.
Which one, yours or the puppet?
Mine,
Mhm.
to say.
For now.
Alura's gonna point it out to Tulip and be like, "What do I do?"
I don't know. I'm feeling a bit pooped though. Should we just sit down and talk about it for a bit? Grant? I'm gonna suggest we have
No.
like a bit of a break. I don't know if it's a good place to chill or a short rest.
I like what Alura suggested. Let's burn this place. It seems dangerous. And escape.
He says with a bag and a himself
Yeah.
full of potions.
Which one of me says that?
Every word you said came from your scarecrow version.
Do I notice that, like, do I feel like I said it? Or do I feel like it come from behind me, just behind me? Or do I still feel like it come from me myself?
Bit of both. You're aware something's wrong, but you just can't. You're not sure what.
Yeah, it's grief. It's putting it down to grief.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over and Grant, do you feel this on the poke the dummy gently with my finger?
You don't feel anything.
I just turn. Careful! There's some dangerous potions inside of me, him.
Okay. Well, we need to heal up. I'm feeling a bit sluggish and a bit hurt. But I guess we can burn this place and see if we can get back to the other place. It looked a bit nicer there, didn't it?
was definitely more open, so less chance of us being ambushed.
Okay. But what we should do, because remember there was those rust monsters in the water, because it might change back. I don't know. So we probably want to run out of here in case we end up in the water.
Hmm.
I'll do a light jog. I don't want to break anything I've collected.
Well, let's get ready to
Can't
burn.
help you if
this
you fall
place
over.
I just didn't nuke everything.
It would be
Alchemist fire everywhere.
I was about to bring up the alchemist fire incident.
Which one?
Was it Jay that had like a bag full of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
that
about
ex-
half the campaign without telling us.
that then exploded, and he took a lot of damage. Oh Jesus.
That was so funny.
I'll be behind Tulip every step of the way.
I've got a tinderbox.
We're
So
not relighting them now.
It's okay, Grant. You'll be behind yourself the whole way too.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna light it up now, aren't we? Just
We're
put
not-
some stuff together, set it on fire.
Oh,
and
you're
run.
on about the her. I thought you were on about blowing me up. Okay.
No. That
Yeah,
probably
I think
won't
we
come
should set the
back.
hut on fire now.
Grief is getting to me. Right, you guys do that. I'll wait outside.
Well, at least you won't be alone.
We've both
Ignore
got
that.
tinderboxes and torches, haven't we?
Save the torches, probably. We can probably find some kindling stuff to
Yeah.
start the fire up in here. We can get a group up loads of, I don't know, cloth and papers and dry wood in separate areas and start setting multiple fires. And then get them ready to run when they start catching.
I think I think that sounds like a plan.
Okay. You managed to find some old rags that you can pile up, and you are in a tree. So, after a bit of prompting, some of the drier roots and rags start taking and catching fire, and you all just you both kind of get out as quickly as you can, and get out as quickly as you can, and escape back into the muggy, nasty, damp, incredibly moist air of outside.
Nice. And I remember roughly where we started talking, trying to get down to there.
Okay.
So I know that where the pool was gonna be before.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okie dokie. Okay,
Yeah, I wouldn't have stayed just outside. I would have just slowly walked to that area also, where I
Okay.
think it was.
You managed to avoid the low-hanging trees that appeared before. Oh my god, yes. As it's fine for Alura because you're short enough to fit through. To bend over even on the roots and the branches that you'll find kind of bent down. The other two you have to kind of pick up your speed a little bit to get through. Actually, I'll say Tulip has to. Grant, as a monk, if you've got excellent balance and ability to get through quickly. So you all get through in your own way without whacking your head.
Right. I don't see Alura. You on?
I'm inside.
Yeah, I think you're stuck inside the tree.
Should we just go in the closest one that we were? Doesn't really matter which way we go, I guess.
Will we even get back? That's the thing. I come
Well-
from this direction, and I kind of point over to where I come from.
You can go out the one we all came in individually, or we can just try to go through one. I don't know.
I think for now we should at least stick together, and then
Yeah.
if we can't, come up with a plan.
Okay. Let's go down this one then, I guess.
Yeah. Which way did you come from, Alura? Since this was the way you came from.
So I would have come from this bottom one here, the 6 o'clock one.
And then yeah, we'll just follow you to where you exactly popped out.
Okay. You get to sort of where you are, and there seems to be resistance against you leaving. Almost like you're kind of walking against elastic. It's sort of, you walk towards it and it just pushes you back.
Guess we're not going this way then.
I mean, is it really? Can we get through it if we try? Or is it like a...
I mean, someone could take something sharp and put it in front of you and then try and walk forward. Maybe it's a invisible seam that we need to break. Like the vines to Malika's first base.
Okay, I mean, I'll swing and try to walk forward with my axe.
Okay. Roll an attack roll for me. And roll damage, please. Okay. As you swing and step forwards, you seem to make a tear in the air. And very much like the vines at Malakir's base, you step through and you are back in the same environment you were before.
Okay, I'll usher them through as well if they've got time.
It doesn't seem like it. As soon as you step through, it sort of re-heals itself immediately.
Okay, well, it doesn't seem like it heals.
It does. It just
Oh, it
re-heals
does.
itself straight away.
Exactly like what we saw with the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait for them to cut through then.
Can I try and just like poke it with my finger like we did at the other place?
Yeah. I mean, you're fairly confident at this point that it is very similar, if not the same. So,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try and like cut through it almost then with my finger.
Okay. Roll for strength for me, just to see if you can pull enough of you to get yourself through.
Okie dokie. I'm going to guidance this also.
Of course. Nice. Much like Ace Ventura when he removes himself from the mechanical rhino. That's a dated reference, but it's valid. You just sort of poke your finger through and then just start tearing. First your head comes through, then your shoulders, and then you just step through.
Cool.
Aqua. Not
Right,
Aqua.
watch it.
Grant.
I was
Aqua's
gonna
not
say,
here.
God,
Aqua's not here.
he's not born yet. It'd be like his great granddad at this time frame. Probably even longer than that. How fast does it close up? Do I even get a
Immediately.
chance to,
No.
like... Okay.
Like, it's
At that
basically
point-
healing as Alura steps through.
I walk up to it then, and before I'm like, right. I look up, kind of look backwards to the dummy on my back, and go, right. Are you ready, Grant? I can't call you Grant. That get confusing. I know. I'm gonna name you Gravel after my brother.
Oh no.
And I'm then gonna just punch with an unarmed strike through the veil
Okay, make an attack roll
to
for me.
get through.
Mm-hmm. You punch and it just ba-dong, straight back off.
Well, I guess it needs to be something sharp. I pull out the end of my trident.
I was going to say, you still have half a trident.
I know. I didn't want to pull it out. It's still a sore subject. And I kind of grab it with both hands and use the points to cut open the veil.
Okay. You just poke it through and slice and step through, and you all re-emerge. Now, please hold while I find the correct map. This is where it isn't even here. I should have prepared more for this. It's not there, it'll be in here somewhere. Anyway, you all step back out to where you were previously. Not that one. Oh my god, I need to organize my maps.
I'm fully expecting this to be like one of the levels of hell or something that we're stepping into.
No. Not this time.
Like, how far away
Because
from the ring are you making a step from?
the Abyss and the Hells are two different things.
Oh yeah, the Abyss, that's what it was.
Yeah. Pedantry is important in this case.
I'll put myself there.
You step through. Out of the way of the ring again.
What is Grant still carrying Grant or Gravel?
Yeah.
We don't know Gravel yet.
Yeah, you don't know his name. You
You-
just think he's Grant 2.0.
I was going to say you've not been introduced.
No.
Grant,
Yeah, go on.
quickly make a perception check for me.
Ooh. With anything or just perception?
Just perception.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Carry on. Tulip.
Should we have a little rest here? Or if we get through the other side was alright, wasn't it?
That's if it's all the same as when we went through.
Yeah.
Hopefully it would be, but
Oh yeah, you said, didn't you, that we could come out at a different time?
Well, there was this door we came through, but there was also like more circles over there, so maybe that will send us somewhere different. Or there's one over here, and that could send us somewhere different.
Even though this seems big and possibly could lead us anywhere, it feels empty, kind of safe. I feel like we could rest there for a little bit.
Is it still the puppet talking?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Yeah, I've
really
not noticed
unsettling.
any of that.
It's like the puppet is just like the scarecrow is just literally wrapped around his back, like giving him he's having a proper piggyback. The eyes are staring off, sort of middle distance, blank, completely lifeless and emotionless. Aqua's face is emoting. Not Aqua. God damn it. Grant. Grant's face is emoting, like you would expect when talking, but it's just the scarecrow's mouth just opening and closing, and the words are coming out.
For the sake of Tulip and Alura, in the time frame we are in the world, are there bards that do performances with puppets as ventriloquists, or have they not discovered that yet?
You haven't heard of anything.
Okay, that's fine.
You're going to be the first ventriloquist.
forget the inner monk, you're a bard now.
Oh god, I need to multi-class.
So do you want to take like a full rest here, or do you just want to like have a little one to get ready for whatever's next?
I'd be happy with either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too badly wounded. How are you, Tulip?
I've been better, but I with a short one will probably be okay.
If you're sure, I'm happy to take a full one. This area's the ground is soft, nice to lay on.
Yeah, but we don't even know where we are, right?
Currently, you've got no idea.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't seem like anywhere I've ever seen before. So, I mean, maybe a short run. Yeah, let's do a short one, and then, yeah. I don't know, up to you guys, but I'm happy with a short one.
Okay.
So I guess we'll try to take a short rest and gather ourselves. And I'm probably going to sit a bit further away from Grant at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Totally valid. Totally fair.
I am
Sure.
gonna take off the me, aka Gravel, and sit him down and sit next to him, sorting, going through all the potions and like putting which ones look better to keep on me and which ones to put in him.
Okay.
Alura's gonna see if she can try and focus and remember to see if she's ever heard of anything like this happening to Grant.
Make a history check for me. Was Tulip doing anything I've forgotten?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Just recuperating.
Alura, you can't have that guidance because you didn't say with guidance.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
I
But
said it high pitched, so I don't know if my microphone picked it up.
Okay, sure. With a 9, no recollection.
Okie dokie.
Grant.
Yeah.
Please hold while I spell correctly. While you're unpacking all of the bottles and sort of laying them out, trying to work out which one's what and see if they can work out what they are, as you are settling in to the pattern, reaching in, grabbing a bottle, sort of looking at it, investigating it, you suddenly become aware that you're watching yourself do this.
Wait, like an out-of-body experience watching myself do this?
No. Like, you're
Okay.
watching from Gravel's perspective.
Oh, okay. I honestly don't know how I would react to that. I think as soon as I notice, I would definitely be like waving into Gravel's eyes to see if it was like me seeing me from me.
When you do that, you can see that on your face there is on Grant's face, you can see that the entire face has gone completely slack and blank, and the eyes have glazed over. And basically the only thing that makes Grant look alive is the fact that the body's moving and you can see breaths inhaling and exhaling.
Okay, that's super weird.
And when you think when you think I'm going to wave in my face to see if it, you feel that you sort of think it, and you can, like, the Grant's body reacts in that way. Grant waves, but for you, you're feeling a little bit trapped.
I'm just gonna put it down to everything that's gone on and feel like it's some magic that may wear off. For
Okay.
now, I'm not gonna concern it too much, but I am gonna keep more of an eye on on my fake brother. I will, after sorting potions out for a while, turn to Alura and Tulip and be like, guys, just so you know, because it's going to be confusing with Grant 1 and Grant 2, this over here shall be named Gravel.
What, the stones?
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Do
my brother's name is Gravel.
Do you point over to Gravel when you say this?
Yes.
Okay. You can see Grant turns to talk to you. His body turns. And Grant, at this point you are yourself. You can feel don't feel trapped anymore. You're not looking at yourself. You are turning your body, looking at Alura and Tulip. You sort of point to Gravel, say, "This is Gravel." And as you turn, you just feel like a really dull, throbbing ache in your side.
I like react to that and be like, oh, I guess I was hit harder than I realized. And kind of just sit down.
Where do you sit?
We have like gravel, then a couple potions between him and then me. Kind of sat in a line.
Okay. Alura,
Mm-hmm.
as Grant sits down next to Gravel,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that Grant is holding his, like, sort of laboring on his left side a little bit. Kind of,
Okay.
sort of, almost like he's sort of feeling a bit tender. And then you kind of glance over at Gravel, and you can see that his left side, or its left side, is where the tear is, and where all the Grant has been storing all the potions.
Oh my god. I mean, Alura will go and check over Grant so that she can, like, do her regular checks on him. This is absolutely insane. Yeah, so yeah, she's just gonna go check on Grant.
Okay, I'm going to get rid of this line because it doesn't not really needed anymore. There you go. Okay, roll a medicine check for me.
I'll say a bit louder this time. With guidance.
Of course. 26. Physiologically, Grant seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
Few kind of knocks, and there's a burn from where he made contact with the sword, like the flame sword. But other than that, Grant is fine.
Oh god. Can I take another look at Gravel as well?
Sure.
Like, see if there's any changes apart from where he's been ripped open and stuffed. Any other changes from when I inspected him earlier?
Make an investigation check for me.
I mean, he's going to be a little bit more bloated because of the potions in his stomach.
Yeah. Adding guidance.
Of course. 15. So from earlier on, when you kind of checked over Gravel to see if he was actually Grant and whether he was alive or not, he was really soft and squishy. He doesn't feel soft and squishy anymore. He's starting to feel a bit more substantial.
Is that substantial as in fleshy or substantial as in full of potions?
Both.
Okay. Are all of the potions out of Gravel now, or are there still some in there?
That's a question for Grant.
Oh, there's still some in there. The lesser potions that I don't think are worth carrying are hidden.
Okay. Alura, with a 15, as you're looking over his body, like Gravel's body, and you're, kind of squeezing, feeling, sort of investigating, you look up at Gravel's face, and for the briefest of moments, like a glimpse, you're sure that you see Gravel's eyes go from looking directly at you to just dropping and kind of middle distancing again.
Oh my god. Okay. I am going to Tulip, are you nearby us or are you off on your own?
About, yeah, probably about 10, 15 feet away. Just sitting back, relaxing.
Okay. I'll call you over so that you can be a part of this conversation too.
Oh, I don't know if he wants to be, but okay.
But basically, I'm going to speak to Grant and I'm going to tell him like what I've seen and that I'm concerned that Gravel is going to become alive. And I'm going to ask if I think if it's worth us killing Gravel before we move on.
As Tulip, think that could make sense, but I'm down for whatever you want to try. You're the medicine one.
I've
But
never
Were
seen
you
anything like this
saying
before.
that? Were you saying that to Grant as well? Are we all in this?
Yeah, all three of us, yeah.
I would say that does seem odd. It felt like for a moment I could see through its eyes. It's kind of a way of
Wait, really?
being able to see. It was cool. We could use it.
what if they're
I
both
think we should
Grant?
keep Gravel.
Yeah.
I don't want to get rid of Gravel just yet. I want to keep it.
So after the fight we just had, I'm guessing we all explained how you two out there both had another Malakir you're fighting as well.
Yeah,
So
because
Yeah.
Alura wasn't doing much damage and he just randomly died, so...
yeah.
I mean, me and Alura know we were fighting Malakar. Tulip lost his memory on the fight, so we kind of assumed he was also fighting one, but couldn't confirm it.
Yeah. So if you're saying we had like 3 Malakirs and then one got killed, they all died. If you kill that Grant, that could kill that Grant.
Now that Grant has said that he's like looked through through Gravel's eyes, that's definitely now a concern for Alura.
I am heavily defending on keeping Gravel, and I will be the one to bet in Gravel's... Whatever Gravel you think Gravel will do. To me, he's just a double of me that is now a backpack.
Worst case, well, not worst case, but how about just in case of worst case something, we tie up the arms and legs.
How am I going to carry it?
You can still hook him over yourself if it's bound up, but I just
don't
think
want him tied to me all the time. I mean,
no,
if
like
you want...
tie his arms and legs, like legs together and arms together, then put it over your shoulders.
Alura,
Yes.
you slowly start picking up during this conversation between Tulip and Grant that every time Grant says, I don't want him to be tied up, how am I supposed to carry him? It turns into, I don't want to be tied up.
Oh, no.
Alura really doesn't like this. Alura's really uncomfortable. Right. We'll keep him for now. But if anything funny starts happening, if he starts trying to like become his own person or attack us or something, I will not hold back.
Have no idea what you mean. It is a stuffed dummy I'm using as a carrying case.
It
Do what you
looked
want
at
with
me.
it.
What
Your
actually
imagination from
what
the way.
actually comes out is, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a real person.
Oh my god, no!
I'm a real boy.
And then as Grant, I'm just gonna walk off and sit back down where I was.
Before you walk off, Grant, raise your hand for me.
I assume I raise my hand.
Yeah.
And it's Grant, not Gravel.
Yep.
Let's just finish up resting up. And maybe it's just this place, right?
Maybe.
Maybe we go out there and everything's back to normal. Maybe it's worse. Maybe we've now burnt the thing and stuff, and maybe the outside world's gonna be better. We might have fixed everything.
Okay, Alura's just gonna nod to Tulip. Take a seat, kind of close to Grant and Gravel, but also like maybe like 10 or 15 feet away.
Yeah, I'll just sit down and chill, and
So yeah, probably where I am now, actually.
I'm gonna wait until you let me use my hit dice, basically.
I'm just gonna assume that they decided to sit away from me because of the experimental potions rather than the whole uncanny vibe going on.
I
Mhm.
mean, the potions don't help, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what's the arrangement for this long rest of yours?
Are we
Oh,
not
short
short resting?
Are you short
here?
resting? Sorry.
Yeah,
Short rest is fine.
Yeah.
I missed out on that word. I apologize.
just short resting, but then probably trying to walk out one way or something.
All right. Short rest then. Hit die.
Woo!
You know, I heard you say, I'm just going to
Okay,
wait till
hey,
you let me
where's
use
one
my
of
hit
my
die.
hit dies?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Solid.
I got 4 of them.
That'll do for me.
Oh,
Oh, that's better.
I never rolled. I took the rest. I didn't roll. Okay. That actually puts me back up to max. That's fine.
Same.
Okay. Your short rest comes to an end. I assume, like, that whole thing was part of the short rest. Short rest.
Yeah.
And
Whatever was left of the short rest, Alura would have been watching Gravel like a hawk
okay, roll an insight check for me,
with guidance.
of course. $18. Nice. For about half an hour of this short rest, sorry, absolutely nothing happens. Grant sat there quietly, kind of going through his potions. And Gravel's just kind of propped up against a tree trunk or a rock or something. Absolutely fine.
I mean, I sat him up against nothing. If he's flopped over, he's flopped over.
Gravel's flopped over on the floor.
Yeah.
Just kind of staring off towards the tree. So he's looking off in this direction.
I like him, but I'm not properly taking care of him in that kind of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, at least.
And about 15 minutes before the end of the hour, you see Gravel's eyes kind of start focusing on Grant. And kind of glancing over at Grant briefly, you can see that his eyes have glazed over. His face has gone completely slack. And he's just sorting through his potions, kind of mechanically.
Okay. Alura's going to be saying some praise to Hestia.
Okay, nice.
Immediately turn to God.
Okay. Your short rest ends. And Grant, your side feels better. Doesn't feel achy anymore.
Nice. I guess that's what I needed, guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mhm.
We all needed a bit of a rest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I put then pick up all the potions I've decided into my actual bag and all the ones that I'm not wanting to use just yet into gravel.
Of course, that's what you would do if Gravel's side was no longer torn open.
What do you mean it's no longer?
Hey man, there's no more ink.
Guys, I'm just like, Alura, did you sew up gravel?
I have gone nowhere near that thing.
His side has been fixed. I can no longer put my potions in him.
Alura's going to come over and look. I'm
You
assuming the gravel's not here.
as he's shouting that, my side is fixed. He can't put potions in me anymore. And it sounds triumphant. Like there's actual inflection.
Grant,
And
please, we've got to do something, please.
I honestly don't know what you're on about. I'm fine.
Let's get out of this place. Yeah. Maybe we can. Wait. Where's Nismo? Oh. Do you think he was in the hut before us?
No. We would have seen signs if Nismo was around. You're right to be concerned, but he probably just went a different way.
Should we try a different way?
I think we should get back to the normal realm.
If we go back through the cave that we know, it will take us to Malik's base, and then we will have to get through all the fungus again.
that's like Gravel says that. Like Grant says that, and it comes through Gravel, is what I should say. But then after that, there's a slight pause, sort of 2 beats. Don't worry, everyone. I know the way.
Gravel?
Wait, who said that? Was that me? Am I losing my mind?
You said nothing.
Oh.
So, what Grant said came out of Gravel's mouth.
Yep.
And
Okay,
then he
I
carried on
understand now.
talking.
And then he carried on talking. But there was a
At least
beat.
I
There was
thought I
like
did.
there was sort of 2 breaths and
Yeah.
then continued. And the second bit came out very upbeat, very positive, much different to Gravel's usual like tone of speaking. Grant, this freaks you out because that's not what you wanted. Like that's not something you said.
Okay, yeah. As long as my facial expressions can still change to somewhat, everyone else will see that I'm kind of concerned, because that's not what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to try and figure it out just yet. I'm just going to look very confused and wait to see what other people react to.
Okay. If you just go this way, and Grant's hand points off in a direction, it'll lead you exactly where we need to go.
Which way does he point?
He points off sort of northwards. That's not the way. This way. So sort of north past the tree thingy and then through the top clearing.
Do I see myself point?
Yeah, and you don't feel it though. You just see your
Yeah.
hand raise.
I kind of look down, well, as much as I can, and be like, wait, I didn't want to tell people to go that way. I wanted to go back. What's happening? And I don't know if I can use willpower or whatever strength I have or whatever I have to try and shake, move, or do something.
You just shake off completely.
I think we should go back the way we came. And I don't think we should be trusting to this thing, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you think. I mean, we can probably always come back through if we need to, but I was kind of down for trying a different exit. But
Yeah, Tulip's right. We should go that way.
On your heads be it.
All right.
what? We want to go where the puppet said?
No, where Grant said.
Yeah, where
Grant's-
Grant pointed. You just wanted to go a different way, so Grant is agreeing with you. And Grant will pick up the rest of his potions that weren't in gravel and pick gravel up. As if he's a backpack again.
Okay.
Let's go! Kind of just happily march on forward.
Are you going the way Grant pointed, or are you going off in the other direction?
Unless anyone tells me nothing, I'm going the way Grant pointed. But avoiding the ring.
Okay. Might not have been a good idea, but
Okay. Okay.
Alura is still going to be watching Grant and Gravel like a hawk. Like, she's not taking her eyes off of them.
Cool. Okay. You begin heading off in that direction. You reach the top end of the ring, and similarly to before, you can see past it normally, but 50 feet from you, up to 50 feet from you, it just sort of starts disapparating and becomes ethereal.
Well, let's go through. And without hesitation or any sign of like worry or checking, I'm just gonna walk through.
Okay.
wait and see what happens to Grant first.
Disappears.
Okay then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I think we'll end the session there for today. Good job, guys. You didn't die.
Didn't
We
die.
actually multiplied.
What have I done though? I don't think what I've done is worse than die.
I've got absolutely no idea what's happened, but oh my god.
We went from the Underdark to Stranger Things to now Annabelle. We're hitting
Oh
all
my
of them.
God. Oh, this is crazy.
Pretty wild.
I'm
Pretty
loving it.
wild. Well, that was fun.
That was really
It
fun.
was. Yeah, I had a good time. No session next week.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is away.
Sadly, my first time away.
Yeah, he's missing.
Yeah.
This is the first session we're not playing because of Josh in like
I know.
nearly like over 18 months. So it's impressive.
Crazy,
You're
eh?
allowed one.
Every 18 months, is
Yep,
it?
basically.
Okay.
I'll still be streaming. I'll stream something. Whether it's a D&D game or whether it's just me streaming something, we'll see. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, see if you've got any ideas for like when you bring back scales or something.
Oh, I've got plenty. I'll be able to rustle something up.
Because if I have data, I'll try and watch.
Okay. I know. I approve. Next Thursday, so that'll be the 31st. Is the next session of the Great Game from the Verdamont Chronicle.
Very excited.
Exactly. Same. I'm excited too. And then coming soon, TM, is Yathina's half of the Verdamont Chronicle that I'm taking over for a while she gets herself back on track and gets to a point where she feels comfortable running again.
Also, very excited for that.
Yes, I just need to actually read through everything she sent me and like work out a plan before I plan anything, if that makes sense. But it's happening. It's coming back soon. And So keep an eye on this space. Last week's session of Fungal Queen will go up on YouTube tomorrow. So if you need to catch up, despite having watched to now, if you need to catch up, I mean, go and watch it anyway. Go and watch it like 4 times and share it with everybody. Like, watch it on 5 or 6 different browsers, that sort of thing. But yeah, it'll be up tomorrow. Tell your friends. Other than that, I should have been looking for a raid at this point. Whoops. Other than that, we are pretty much done, I think. Whomst be live? No one. We won't raid today. But that's okay. We don't have to raid every day. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate you. We will see you next Thursday for Verdamont Chronicle. And I'll see you next Tuesday for something. We'll see. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.